Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in, and the hype button. My apologies, everyone got caught up talking to Papa Z um, for a while and just lost track of time. There ain't no excuses. That's the answer. There is no excuses. That's the answer. Just Papa Z came into town, told me about Haiti being upside down on fire, even worse. And yeah, we just caught up. So there ain't no excuses. That's Mr. Z just gonna tell it to y'all straight. That's what it is, right? With that, my apologies to my subscribers and day ones and all the newcomers. This will be frequent on Z's channel where Z is just exceedingly late. Not because Z doesn't care about my subscribers and listeners and those of you that contribute, but because life be lifing. Usually I actually have an answer, an excuse. This time Mr. Z ain't have no excuse. It's just lost track of time, right? Just lost track of time. With that, we're gonna say our fair uses, fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. Shout out to Louis, right? The wall of indifference. Y'all gonna see why Mr. Z posted the wall of indifference if you didn't click the link already, right? Okay. So, simply put, many women are coming across the wall of indifference after they have achieved their goal of the house, in the car, in the lifestyle, in the education, in the career accomplishments, right? And bravo to you, you won. You've won. You won the neoliberal capitalist game of success, right? You live in your ideal zip code. You drive your ideal car. You're in your ideal career and you're highly accomplished. Unfortunately for you, the men have not changed their appetite and what they find attractive and appealing in women. And those things are pluses to men, but they're not the main course. They are the fries. They are not the burger, right? And the men said they want a burger. The men may say they want pizza. They don't want a calzone. They don't want pasta. They don't want spaghetti. They don't want ravioli. They don't want lasagna. They want a pepperoni pizza. And if the women say, you know what, we have tacos, we have hot dogs, we have burgers, we have shrimp, we have tilapia, we have snapper, we have grouper, huh? We have everything. We even have cheese pizza, but we don't have pepperoni. We have veggie pizza, but we don't have pepperoni. Then the men will move accordingly. The men will move accordingly. And unfortunately for the ladies, no amount of shaming, no amount of speaking very arrogantly like you're on the right side of history, you've accomplished everything. You're at the finish line. Where are the men? We don't owe you being at the finish line. It's that simple. I understand for a lot of other men, they feel offended when women speak this way, like the men have to level up. Mr. Z doesn't even frame it like that. Mr. Z will accept the women's framing. I'll take it. I'll go with it. The women have leveled up. Where are the men to be on their level? Shout out to all you men who debate that. Mr. Z's not going to debate it. Mr. Z going to tell you, I don't owe you being on your level. Go meet the other women or go fight for the men that are on your level. The men that are on your level, here go some boxing gloves and boxing shoes. I'll do you. I'll be gracious enough and kind enough to pay for your boxing gloves and boxing shoes. Go fight for that dude. You and all the other 1,000, 10,000, million of women that want that guy. Oh, you're not going to do it? Then be single with your rose toy. You want a companion? There's always other women. What are the men doing? Any manner of things, playing video games, scratching and sniffing, jacking off. Passport bros, huh? At the arcade, at home, at work, doing nothing, on their mom's couch. Any manner of things. They're just not with you. And they don't owe you leveling up. That 20% of men, really it's like 5%, really it's like 1%, but fine. That 20% of men that all of you women want, fight for those guys. The other 80 don't owe you leveling up for you. If you can't end up with one of those guys, then be alone. What are you talking about, Z?
Us high achieving women have become the men that we want in relationships. We did everything right. We did the school, finished the school, got the good job, got the good house, got the good car and life and dog and friends and everything. And I never thought that achieving these things for myself would literally make it impossible to date. I thought that if women were able to accomplish these things for themselves and push themselves and be driven, there's nothing stopping men from being in that same position. And lo and behold, here we are. What happened? Like, where, what, why? Women are looking for a partnership now, right? Like, we're not dating because we need to. But the problem is, men are not sharing in that vision. They still are subscribing to a hierarchical model. They still need to be needed in some capacity. So there's two outcomes. Either I prove that I'm high achieving and don't require support, which makes me unlikable. But then if I did actually need someone for a financial incentive or whatever else, this provider role, then I'm a gold digger. So what do? Moral of the story, it's difficult to be in a position where there's no more improvement needed on our side. I don't think women should have to demote themselves in order to be palatable to men who need to be needed. I think the solution is men should be more driven to want to be wanted. But then when they try to do things that women want, other men are shaming them back into this toxic cycle of hierarchy. So I guess this is my plea for men to stop falling victim to a system that doesn't serve you or anyone anymore. Or don't. That's fine.
You coward. You absolute coward. Not only are you arrogant, you're a coward. Why are you calling her a coward, Z? Because she doesn't address the women. Wait, the men are pressuring the men to subscribe to these old rules?
All women from all ages and all races realizing that marriage is bullshit and just an excuse for men to suck the life force out your ass. That makes me feel good. I love that.
Oh, wait a minute.
The only time having a boyfriend is worth it is when he is able to fully support you and pay all your bills. I said it, and I'll say it again. The only time a man who is your boyfriend, he's not your husband, if you're gonna be a girlfriend to someone, he needs to be paying all your bills. Otherwise, why is he there? What is his purpose? If he's not, he's just a boyfriend. Meaning if he leaves you, and a boyfriend is not a legal title. If he leaves you and promises you marriage, leaves you with nothing, you get nothing. But if he's paying all your bills, you're able to save money, you're able to invest into businesses that you want to do. If he leaves you, you're leaving with something else at the end of it.
I guess we're throwing
this is what I tell average looking and below average looking women. If you can't date up, be alone. Life is easier that way. And I know that's controversial. I don't care. I don't care.
Oh boy. Oh no, madam. Oh, there's more where that comes from.
I'm making this as a PSA to any man that ever thought he had a chance with me or any man that wants a chance with me. If you like 50-50, stay where you're at, baby, because this mouth is only going to get more egregious. I promise you that. I'm paying these big bills and you think I'm not about to be talking to you out the side of my mouth? Watch this. Watch this.
Do you understand why I call you a coward now, madam? Wait, it's the men pressuring the men to subscribe to this. And what if we are? The women aren't either?
I'm not submitting to no man that expect me to go 50-50. You want your wife to bear your children, cook, clean, work enough hours to handle big bills, and take care of you? You expecting me to pay big bills, baby. I'm gonna want some bussy when I get off of work. Fuck is you talking about? Bend that ass over. Let that bussy breathe. This what you wanted, right? 50.
Huh? Oh, wait. And there's more.
Niggas be so quick to let me take you on a trip. Let me take you on a trip. Pay a fucking bill. Pay a bill. Pay a goddamn bill.
Always begging. Damn.
Can we get on the phone? No, get on the phone with billing. Don't talk to me. Talk to billing.
Huh? You know, we have these women, these outliers, first of all, who are doing well financially, well enough they don't need someone financially. They're doing pretty okay. As the young lady said, they have the house, they have the car, they have the lifestyle. Huh? They have the pets, they have the career. Congratulations, madam. You have, and you are, as you said, the man that you always wanted. You are the man you always wanted. And the men don't owe you competing against you. Wait for it, Z, for you. And the men are showing you that. I read y'all comments. We ain't gonna talk about the lady aesthetically. Mr. Z's debating the point, the idea that the men owe you anything. We don't owe you anything. You're right when you said at the end, or don't, and we won't. You damn right. Huh? What a coward. Madam, you are the hypergamous. You fulfilled your own hypergamy with you. You are on top of the pyramid. The men don't owe you trekking up the pyramid. The men that are on top of the pyramid with you, if you can't make it work with them, then well, so be it. You can always date other women.
We should stop marrying men, according to data. This professor says we're dating all wrong, that women are interviewing men as boyfriends rather than life partners. This leaves us stuck with junior employees of the household rather than co-CEOs. Corinne Lowe used to be married to a man. Now she's married to a woman. After her divorce, she crunched the numbers and decided that it would be more efficient to only date women. She said that it was too time intensive to find a male partner who could be this co-CEO of a household. As a professor at Wharton, she's encouraging women to think like an economist when it comes to picking the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with. We should see dating as a market, marriage as a contract, and children as a public good. Corinne says the rise of the trad wife movement can be explained by the lean-in era. This sent the message that motherhood was just an inconvenience to our careers. Instead, we should see our time as having almost economic value, which we should spend carefully. This is an economist's evidence-based approach to happiness.
Yep. Yep. Y'all gives you a second. Okay, that went through. Yep. Okay, there we go. And as Indigo Flow says here, congratulations, use a provider now, boo. Indigo been saying that for a while, right? Exactly. Congratulations, you're a provider now, boo. Exactly. Huh? Madam, you can always date other women. Huh? We don't owe you stepping. Let me be very clear as a man, a black man. In America, one thing that has been expressed to the boys and the men incessantly, right, is the girls and the women don't owe you anything. They don't owe you slowing up for you. As you said, you've expressed this sentiment. The girls and the women don't owe you slowing up for you. They don't owe you consideration. They don't owe you kindness. They don't owe you a smile. They don't owe you any type of femininity or whatever weirdo idea of femininity you have. That was said to the men, sometimes very overtly and verbally, as Mr. Z is saying it, and sometimes not so much, but it was the sentiment, it was the dominant sentiment wherever those boys or men were. Fine. The boys and men across America got the message, and they're moving accordingly. They appreciate that the girls and women owe them nothing. Do the girls and women appreciate that in kind, the men and the boys owe the girls and women nothing? We don't owe you being on your level. The men that are on your level or above, if you can't make it work with them, then so be it. Huh? And for those of you who missed it, we're responding to this.
Us high-achieving women have become the men that we want in relationships. We did everything right. We did the school, finished the school, got the good job, got the good house, got the good car and life and dog and friends and everything. And I never thought that achieving these things for myself would literally make it impossible to date. I thought that if women were able to accomplish these things for themselves and push themselves and be driven, there's nothing stopping men from being in that same position. And lo and behold, here we are. What happened? Like, where, what, why? Women are looking for a partnership now, right? Like, we're not dating because we need to. But the problem is, men are not sharing in that vision. They still are subscribing to a hierarchical model. They still need to be needed in some capacity. So there's
The men are subscribing to our hierarchical model. They still need to be needed. The women are looking for partnership. First, we're not doing partnership for someone that if something goes bang in the night, something goes bump in the night, that the man is the one that's supposed to go downstairs and will be willing to lose his life for it. There is no 50-50. There is no partnership. You're going to pay it forward. You're going to pay it forward by deferring to the man. And if you don't, well, enjoy being single. Huh? The men don't want to share in that vision. We don't owe you sharing in the vision. Go fight for the top 20% man or end up with another woman. There's always a rose toy, madam. There's always the rose toy. Huh? There's always the rose toy. The reason why Mr. Z is leaving Indigo's comment up is because it's the most accurate. It's the most fitting. Talking about fitting, giggity. Congratulations. You's a provider now, boo. Huh? Madam, we don't owe you stepping up for you. Where's my pepperoni pizza? Oh, you don't make pepperoni pizza? You don't cook pepperoni pizza. Anything but pepperoni pizza. Huh? Yikes. Where is that comment? Where is that comment? I am looking for this comment. I saw it and it disappeared on me. Inspired Truth, where is your comment? Nothing to ran. There we go. There we go. Wait, God damn it. There we go. And Inspired Truth says, we have an amazing menu of everything you don't want. Yes, ladies, we know. And the men are moving accordingly. Huh? The men are moving accordingly. And we know we're moving accordingly, well, because
I'm having dinner with my girl. And I want y'all to just notice something. There's women, all eating there. Women, all eating there. And let's not forget right there too, because they're everywhere. Oh my god. I don't normally go out, but when I do, I go out with my girls, and I am seeing something, a trend. Girls are all going out with their girlfriends. There's not like one date in there.
I'm trying to find the comment where somebody was like, Z, you do know men have other hobbies than Jergens lotion. No, Mr. Z is saying, fine, you know what? Let's go with the negative stereotypes. These men are bums sleeping on their mother's couch in their late 30s and their 40s and whatever. Let's say these men would rather be with the Jergens lotion and playing video games and whatnot and have Dorito dust in their beard, Cheetos dust in their beard. Fine, let's go with the negative stereotypes. You know what the men don't owe you? Not being that. You know what the men don't owe society? Not being that. There's a reason why I go right to the negative stereotypes and say, okay, what about if the men are engaging in that? And I'm trying to find the comment right now. Who said, where did that comment go? That's what happened when you glance at the comment, you said, I'll be back. Right? I'll be back to it. And then it runs from you. That's what I get. That's what I get. Right? With that, the men don't owe you that. The men don't owe you that, madam. And what I think women are running into is what we're all saying here, and what she said herself, and she's not the only one. Ebony K. Williams said it also a couple of weeks ago, right? A few weeks ago. You are the man that you wanted. All right. Yeah, Mr. Z gonna keep on talking, but that should really be the end of the conversation. You said it yourself. You are the man that you wanted. And now you ran right into, well, what does the background show? Bam! The wall of indifference. Huh? Oh, the ladies ran into the wall of indifference, everyone, and they really don't know what to do with it. They don't know what to do with themselves. They ran right into the wall of indifference. Huh? Yikes. I see what you said, Trell, the Matt TV reference. Huh? Yikes. So we're going to play the whole thing again. I ain't playing the whole thing the second time. Here we go.
Us high achieving women have become the men that we want in relationships. We did everything right. We did the school, finished the school, got the good job, got the good house, got the good car and life and dog and friends and everything. And I never thought that achieving these things for myself would literally make it impossible to date. I thought that if women were able to accomplish these things for themselves and push themselves and be driven, there's nothing stopping men from being in that same position. And lo and behold, here we are. What happened? Like, where, what, why? Women are looking for a partnership now, right? Like, we're not dating because we need to. But the problem is, men are not sharing in that vision. They still are subscribing to a hierarchical model. They still need to be needed in some capacity. So there's two outcomes. Either I prove that I'm high achieving and don't require support, which makes me unlikable. But then if I did actually need someone for a financial incentive or whatever else, this provider role, then I'm a gold digger. So what do? Moral of the story, it's difficult to be in a position where there's no more improvement needed on our side. I don't think women should have to demote themselves in order to be palatable to men who need to be needed.
There's no more improvement needed to be done on our side. She's not the first white woman to say it. She's not the first woman in America or in the West to say it. And the men said, but are you likable to us, though? You said there's no more improvement. You're not the judge of that. Unless, of course, you want to end up with another woman. Dear ladies, you're not the judge of whether you're likable or not. The men are. There's no more improvement that needs to be done on our side. Says who? Says who? The nearest straight man is the one who decides, madam. Not your fathers, not your mothers, not Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski on Morning Joe, not any of these people that like to. The women are so kick ass. The women are kicking ass and taking names, and they're so high achieving. Let's go to the closest and nearest single man. Sir, what do you think of her? She's catty. She talks too much. She could lose a couple of pounds, and it's not up to anyone else except for the nearest and closest straight single man. He's the decider, madam. The women don't. There's no more improvements that need to be done. We're done. We're good. We've achieved everything. The men decide that. The straight single men decide that, madam. The title of this stream is the absolute undiluted arrogance to say there's no more improvements need to be done here. Says who? Says who? The men decide, madam. The straight single men decide. The arrogance. Madam, there's always munching on another woman. You could always engage in that. You could always be the side piece to the elite men. Hopefully you'll bump off his wife one day. Huh? The men are not budging. You damn right we're not. We said we want what we want. You're not going to be able to change our appetite. The men appetite has not changed, nor will it change. We're not going to fit nicely into the hypocritical female pecking order. We're not. I want someone that's willing to die for me, but I don't want him to act like he's willing to die for me and ask me to pay it forward and demand that I pay it forward by the way I speak about him and to him and by the way I treat him. Why can't we just go 50-50 unless something goes bump in the night? Huh? Why can't we go 50-50 except for these bills, especially if we have children? Huh? One thing you got to appreciate about men, particularly young men, is they're not doing too much talking. Mr. Z doing a lot of talking, middle-aged Mr. Z. These young men not doing too much talking. They're just moving accordingly. And the Raj report says, when was the last time a man asked for a driven woman? Hashtag stupidity is a choice. Raj, outside of certain elite men that are trying to do the power couple thing because it fits into their idea of relationship and what they want to accomplish, so the woman acts as this piece in his life. No one. So we talking about what, maybe 1-5% of men, maybe, who that fits with what he's attempting to accomplish and it's really about him. Like nobody. And then you have to ask, what does she even mean by drip? Oh, wait a minute. We don't really have to ask because we don't really care. Oh, damn, Z. Kind of ended that question. Quick, fast, in a hurry. Okay, fine. We'll entertain it because that's what we do on Mr. Z's channel. What do you mean by driven, madam? Driven to make a goddamn sandwich? No? Okay, fine. Was that sexist? Yes? Okay, fine. How's that marriage prospect going? Dating? No? Okay, yeah. Should have made the sandwich. Huh? Y'all said, Z, you being way too gracious. Cheryl says 0.001 Z. Excalibur says, nah, 0.5%. So 0.5%. Huh? Nameless says, turns out you can't socialize biology. Oh boy. Huh? Vegas says, now if men talked like this, we'd be narcissistic. You imagine if the men said, we've improved, there's no more improvement needs to be done here. The arrogance. Madam, you can always end up with another high-achieving woman.
We should stop marrying men, according to the data. This professor says we're dating all wrong, that women are interviewing men as boyfriends rather than life partners. This leaves us stuck with junior employees of the household rather than co-CEOs. Corinne Lowe used to be married to a man. Now she's married to a woman. After her divorce, she crunched the numbers and decided that it would be more efficient to only date women. She said that it was too time intensive to find a male partner who could be this co-CEO of a household. As a professor at Wharton, she's encouraging women to think like an economist when it comes to picking the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with. We should see dating as a market, marriage as a contract, and children as a public good. Corinne says the rise of the trad wife movement can be explained by the lean-in era. This sent the message that motherhood was just an inconvenience to our careers. Instead, we should see our time as having almost economic value, which we should spend carefully. This is an economist's evidence-based approach to happiness.
Yep. Bought into the neoliberal assessment of life and masculinity and manhood and quote unquote partnership. And then y'all ran into the wall of like, y'all looked around and wait a minute, the men don't wait. This is the partnership realm, right? Yeah, this is the partnership realm. Wait, what? There's like 3 guys here. Yeah, you damn right. Because the men said we're not doing partnership, and y'all can't make us do partnership, and we ain't changing our appetite to do partnership. What's so wrong with partnership, Z? It's pick and choose, a la carte, feminism and patriarchy. You know, patriarchy by feminist specifications, and the men said they're not going. Wait, the men didn't say that. Z, I don't hear the men saying it. Oh, you're waiting for the men to say it. Maybe Mr. Z said that wrong. The men are showing you they're not going. Ooh, goddamn. And that wall of indifference when you hit at 150 miles an hour. Shout out to shout out to Indigo Flow. Curse smack. Huh? Inspired True said y'all hit the wall at 150 miles an hour. Indigo Flow said it sounded like curse smack. Huh? Yeah. We know, ladies. We know. What you know, Z?
Fair. That is not fair! That is not fair!
We know, ladies. We know. You were sold this by elite rich white men and white women, and well, we're here now. Enjoy your solitude. Huh? Whatever made y'all think the boys and men were going to sign up for this? Whatever made you think? Shout out to the Raj Report. I see you in the comments, Raj. Whatever made y'all think that the boys and men were going to sign up for this? This is what Ron said. You got to be held accountable for what you choose to believe in. Whatever made you think or feel, what made you feel like the men were going to sign up for this? Partnership. Partnership that's not really partnership, because the men are the ones that at the end of the day, their life is on the line. At the end of the day, men put in more hours than women. Men still on average earn more than women. Men still die on the job site more than women. More workplace injuries. It's the men. Men open more businesses than women, particularly in the Black community. And the men were going to sign up for partnership. Or wait. The men were going to sign up for the idea of partnership while doing most of the physical labor and earning most of the money and putting in more hours at work. So we were going to talk that egalitarian stuff while picking and choosing what part of patriarchy we wanted to participate in, and then what parts of feminism that liberated the women from playing their role in patriarchy, but we're going to pick and choose what parts of feminism the women are going to participate in. And the men were going to sign up for that because why? Z, it sounds like you don't trust the women, because I don't. It sounds like you think the women were lying, Z, because I do. It sounds like you don't trust the white technocrats, the white social designers, or any of the women of any color. How would you guess that? Where'd you get that from? Maybe it's because we have evidence that the women don't mean nothing they saying. Huh? Maybe because by the time they hit 50, they all out of steam and they're looking for somebody to come and save them.
For your night. That's a very pro-woman, amazing, like strong, independent woman. But might I add another angle? I would feel like, why the hell ain't no one trying to scoop me up to save my life? Am I ugly? Are they better looking than me? Like, why are they getting saved and I'm over here working, taking on extra shifts now because she got Richard Gere that came and scooped her up and now she got an easy life and now I got extra corns on my toes and my back hurts because no one's saving me. So you have a very positive attitude. I would have been a little bitter, like, why the fuck? Why not me? Why not? I don't want to be irresponsible. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of the goddamn cape. Somebody save me. I want to be Julia Roberts on Hollywood Boulevard in cheap shoes when some guy comes and saves me. I have worked hard since I was 14 and I had to pay. I'm sick of it, Erica.
I do understand.
I understand what you're saying. Classy and independent. It's thankless. I've been dating since the 1980 something, and I'm still single. I'm tired, Erica. You found your man. Don't hate. Let me live this. Let me vent. You're off the strip. I am still on it. I'm in the trenches, and it sucks. I'm sick of being independent. I fucking hate paying for my fucking Range Rover, my other car, my mortgage insurance, my freaking cell phone, computer, Wi-Fi. I am sick of it. I need some guy with bad health to jump on in and interrupt and say, let me take you off your shift. You've been working hard enough. So that's cute what she's doing. I'm not doing that. We are different. I'm tired. I've proven myself, and it only impresses other women. She's like, oh, that's amazing. My friend's independent. These men don't care. Come and save me, some chic, minus the dookie. Just please come and save me. I'm tired. I'm tired, Erica. I don't want to do it no more. Where's my Melania? I want the Melania Trump plan. I'm sick. I've proven myself. Since 1988.
At 88.
I'm tired. I was 15 out of paper route.
Damn, that's a long time.
72 clients. 30-cent tip for some of you bastards in East Providence, Rhode Island on 2nd Street. I remember I gave you papers 7 days a week, and on Sunday you gave me a 30-cent tip. I'm tired. So I'm glad it worked out for you, but I'm not there.
Being a strong, independent woman since 1988 is a lot, Claudia.
Since Salt and Pepper came out.
That's a lot.
I'm tired.
Damn.
So, yes.
Damn.
Excuse me if I'm a little frustrated. So I envy the girls that got taken off the pole, so to say.
Nobody said nothing about no damn pole.
But metaphorically.
Yeah, nobody said. What my point was, because here's the thing. The point was that this is a...
Take off the cape, Erica. We lost the election. We're not doing this anymore.
I'm not...
Soft life. Hookers are winning.
All about...
Hoes are winning. Hookers are in the White House again. First lady, if you will. I'm over it. No one cares. Nobody cares about independence anymore. But I respect it, but they don't.
I get it.
Madam, the reason why we're not doing partnership is because we know eventually this is what it leads to. Huh? We know you run out of steam. You might as well pay it forward now. Huh? Y'all hear that? Z, is that thunder? It's thunder because it's South Florida. Of course it's goddamn thunder. When is it not hurricane force winds in South Florida, Z? Maybe sometime in December? Huh? Our tropical storms are like mini hurricanes. Our hurricanes are insane. Welcome to South Florida, where it's tropical rainy weather all throughout the year. And we're back. So, madam, we're not doing partnership. We're not signing up for partnership. It's that simple. What made women think that the men were going to sign up for partnership? Why would we sign up for partnership when women file for like 70% of divorces and most of it is about money? Why would the men sign up for partnership? Why would men sign up for partnership when eventually these marriages have dead bedrooms and the men spend years on end not having sex? Gary Owens told you what, in 3 years, him and the ex-wife had sex 6 times or something like that? 2 years or 3 years, 6 times. And the men are signing up for partnership with who? And by the way, Gary Owens was paying for everything. That's a white man married to a black woman. Sign up for partnership? Absolutely not. With who? No. Women play the wife role or they get nothing. Shout out to the Roger Report. The Roger Report said, Z, you entertaining this way too much. The contract is the contract. Huh? They either playing into the contract, they writing their name on the contract, or they get nothing.
You will put other people in this organization at risk, and that organization does not want to take that risk. So you do not have this job anymore if you decline it. With any public health decision, there has to be a consequence to you not participating in that social contract.
Huh? There has to be a consequence, madam. The men said that you're playing into this contract or you're not. And if you're not,
it's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Huh? Madam, okay, fine. What the men are essentially saying through action, not really through words. Mr. Z's talking. What American men are saying through action. Once women start talking that partnership talk,
What would you say you do here?
madam, you said you became the man that you always wanted. Well, the average man in America is not gay. So once again,
What would you say you do here?
your word choice, madam, your word choice. There's no more improvement that needs to be done on the women's side. Men are all across the country are laughing their ass off at that one. Average American woman's weight is what, 169 or something like that? 5'3", 5'4" height, 169 pounds. And for black women, it's more like 189 pounds, 86 pounds. No more improvement to be done, right? Okay, yeah, that's it. No improvement to be done. Once again, madam, you don't judge that off of what women say. Single men decide that. Not the simps, not the panderer men, not the white knight men, not even the married men. Single straight men are who decide whether women need to improve or not. Not your gay best friends. Huh? Single straight men. It's not up to your boss. It's not up to the technocrats and social designers. Huh? It's not up to the folks that design the advertisements that's always selling lifestyle to women. It's not up to the people that decide what the markers of your life, the markers of success for your life should be. Once again, those are the technocrats and social designers. No, it's up to the single straight men. And if the single straight men have decided not to show up to matchmaking events, speed dating events, and mixers, if they're not approaching women out in public anymore, or they're doing it less and less, if they're not even DMing women or attempting to get to know women from online and taking it offline, then the men are telling you what they think about this current environment. They're not going for your crap ass partnership talk. First of all, the men don't trust the women to uphold their bargain. Okay, fine. If the men, oh, that's a strong ass if the men were willing to go for partnership, they don't trust the women. Not with that high ass divorce rate. Huh? Not with parental alienation exhibited by primarily women. Huh? Not with women's spending habits. Not with what women are the number one spenders in America, right? What, 70, 80% of consuming? Yeah, the men are not going, madam. We're not. We're not signing up for this weirdo stuff. There's always other women, madam. There is always other women. Huh? So let me read this from Raj. I got you, Jason, and then we'll play that clip again. And the Raj report says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat, and the thank you button. Somebody told me y'all play with my likes, right? Stop playing with the likes, y'all. Okay, and the Raj report says, women who want partnerships are asking men to take on all transactional responsibilities but make no transactional choices for the women. Hashtag you got it. Right? You got it, right? As a matter of fact, Raj, you know what? You're more right than I am. Because I said you got it right. And the right indicates that there's a question mark. What Ron said is more accurate than what Z said. Because Ron says hashtag you got it, and he ends it. Mr. Z messed up and said you got it right, which indicate a question. No, it's a statement. You got it. It's not a question. You got it right, because that would infer that we actually care whether she has it or not. Shout out to the Roger Report. He right. Right. I'm Roger. I'm right, and I'm out. Huh? Oh man. And it's exactly what Rod said. No, we're not signing up to take on the disproportionate amount of labor. Well, the disproportionate amount of financial labor while you do what? Oh wait, I'm the one who's going to be burying the children, and I'm going to be. Wait, you don't want the kids too? Oh, domestic labor. Okay. So you didn't have to clean up after yourself also? Oh, but I have to clean up after you. And the problem is, ladies, you don't have to sign up for this. You do not have to be with the beauty of the 21st century. You gotta love it. Is you're free, ladies? Oh, you're free as a bird to design your life to be however you want it to be. And if a man is missing from there, well, shrugs. And Raj, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Huh? If a man is missing from there, shrugs. Huh? Compassionate. Exactly. And compassionate and callous is because, quote unquote, partnership is a flexible word that never really establishes a role for her. They think they're slick. Hey, once again, my title is The Absolute Undiluted Arrogance. Compassionate, she said it already. There's no improvement needed to be done by the women. Right? So of course she's slick. She thinks she's slick. Of course the women think they're slick. They think they're smarter than the men. They think they don't got to improve anymore. If you don't have to improve anymore, you are on top of the pyramid. Then enjoy the spoils. And I'm considering changing the title to something like that. Right? The spoil. You got the trophy. You've won. You've won, madam. And here go your trophy. Solitude. You can do what black women do and go on your girls' trips and the Tom Joyner morning cruise. The Tom Joyner cruise. Y'all can find a white version of the Tom Joyner cruise. So you get smashed out by some man that's 15, 20 years younger than you on the cruise. If even. Ooh. Maybe an older man. Huh? Go to Caribbean. Go to the Caribbean or to the continent and find you a Dexter St. John. Blow your back out for a week. There's options, madam. You have choices and options. You could do the boyfriend experience for a week or two when you're in Jamaica. Huh? Or maybe the Bahamas. Or maybe the USVI, US Virgin Islands. Huh? You could always find you a Dexter St. Jacques who will separate your money from your wallet for the boyfriend experience. You know? If you're willing to depart with some cash, you can always experience that once or twice a year every time you're in the Caribbean. You know? You're a white woman. I'm pretty sure there's some white men that's willing to go. Huh? The women are full of crap. They're cowards and liars. Madam, you can't get home husband. Apologies, y'all. My apologies. Yes, I know. Quiet. Yes, my apologies, y'all. We're back. We're still here. We're still here. Right? Starman said Z done flew off the ramp into his cell tower. That's hysterical. And hopefully we don't ever do that. Hey, if that ever happens, that's not what happened. I would tell y'all to investigate, but y'all got families. If that ever happened, Z ain't reckless like that. That ever happened, that's not what really happened. Right? BGS said reckless. Oh man. Longo says, thought Bowser got you. No, Bowser ain't get me. Bowser ain't get me. Right? So I just want to emphasize that, we're staying true to what BGS said about Z being able to speak about a small ass clip for a couple of hours. Yes, and thank you for the compliment. And it's true. Because Mr. Z got a zillion words for this.
Us high achieving women have become the men that we want in relationships. We did everything right. We did the school, finished the school, got the good job, got the good house, got the good car and life and dog and friends and everything. And I never thought that achieving these things for myself would literally make it impossible to date. I thought that if women were able to accomplish these things for themselves and push themselves and be driven, there's nothing stopping men from being in that same position. And lo and behold, here we are. What happened? Like, where, what, why? Women are looking for a partnership now, right? Like, we're not dating because we need to. But the problem is, men are not sharing in that vision. They still are subscribing to a hierarchical model. They still need to be needed in some capacity. So there's two outcomes. Either I prove that I'm high achieving and don't require support, which makes me unlikable. But then if I did actually need someone for a financial incentive or whatever else, this provider role, then I'm a gold digger. So what do? Moral of the story, it's difficult to be in a position where there's no more improvement needed on our side. I don't think women should have to demote themselves in order to be palatable to men who need to be needed. I think the solution is men should be more driven to want to be wanted. But then when they try to do things that women want, other men are shaming them back into this toxic cycle of hierarchy. So I guess this is my plea for men to stop falling victim to a system that doesn't serve you or anyone anymore. Or don't. That's fine.
And the men decided, or don't. First, madam, as I said before, it's up to the men to decide whether women need improving or not. Single men, single straight men in particular. That's number one. Number two, you're not changing the men's appetite. Number three, there is a third option, madam. You can always be likable while earning the type of money you earn, and maybe losing a couple pounds, while earning the type of money you earn, and just be likable. You ever thought about that? You don't have to go down the gold digger route. Women always want to go down the goddamn gold digger route. I can always be a gold digger. Half of y'all can't be no goddamn, more than half of y'all can't be no goddamn gold digger. Simply put, you don't look good enough. Ooh, goddamn. Most women just don't. Before we even get into anything else, character flaws and personality and hygiene and all the other good stuff, yeah, just don't look good enough. Or young enough. Ooh, goddamn. Ooh, see. Sound like ageism. Okay, fine. Continuing. You can always just be a likable person. Huh? You could always just, maybe not lead with your career and your accomplishments. You can accept that the men are not doing partnership. Not now, not ever. Not the masses of men anyway. Huh? You could accept that the men said we're not budging from this point. Through action, we said we want pepperoni pizza, and that's what we want. You could accept that, or you don't have to, and stay in your bed recording yourself, lamenting that men won't budge. Huh? We're not signing up for partnership. Not with the divorce rate being what it is. Not with the only people that really get married and stay married in America are really, give or take, the top 10-ish, 15, 20-ish percent. Yeah, we're not signing up. It's that simple. To hell with your partnership. Get out of here. And oh crap. Oh, damn it. Damn, I did not get to read Jason's comment. I just banned Jason. Jesus Christ. Jason, that was not on purpose. If you're listening, I was trying to highlight your comment and read it, and this happens every once in a while, everyone. God damn. Oh, did anybody get to see what Jason said? Right? You know what? Z know what he gonna do. Y'all gives you a second. Gives you a second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Difficulties, everyone. All type of technical difficulties. Okay, so Jason, I don't know if I'm going to be able to fix that if you're listening, but I did find the super chat. I can't highlight it, but I still can read it. So I had to go to my channel and find the spot where I actually highlighted it for a few seconds, and so we'll still be able to read it. Shout out to Jason. I think you're not permanently banned. I don't know what happened, but I think next stream you'll be able to come back because I've done this before by mistake. Finger slips, press the wrong button, and then that person's banned. I don't know what the hell. Okay. Um, make women insufferable. Okay, and the problem is y'all can't hear me when I flip streams. Haha, I think I have a solution. I do have a solution. Y'all gives you a second. I do have a solution. Y'all give me a second. And my apologies, everyone, for all of this mess. But I think I figured it out. I think I know how we could still do this and still shout out Jason and honoring that super chat, because this is what I do. Haha, there it worked. All right. And Jason says, make women insufferable to break families and have them spend separately for the foreseeable future. And there we go. See, Jason, I still did you a solid. And there you go. And yes, because isn't that what the goal was? Huh? Mr. Z plays, and I'm going to play it again. Mr. Z plays the clip from Wisecrack all the time. Jason, that's exactly what happened. Exactly. Here you go.
If this struck you as unusual when you were watching the series, that's because it was. In scholar Richard Bush's study of 262 so-called domestic situation comedies from 1946 to 1990 at least, he found that just 11% featured heads of household who were working class, i.e. doing blue-collar, clerical, or service work. Malcolm's father, and future drug lord as you may remember, plays a low-level clerical worker. This is despite the fact that most American workers qualify as working class. Back in 1976, scholars Gerbner and Gross addressed this still relevant trend, calling the exclusion of working-class families from television a symbolic annihilation of America's economic realities. The problem is especially bad on children's television, where a scant 2% of characters are depicted as working class. Now, this isn't exactly a coincidence. Showing stable middle and upper class families is good for business, especially if you're making a family-friendly sitcom. And the reason is simple: commercials. According to scholars Zieglinde Lemke and Wibke Schneiderman, as a form of mass entertainment financed by selling commercials to middle-class consumers, it seems logical that the predominant mode of representing class presupposes middle-class normativity. That is to say, watching the kids' skins stick to the seat in a rundown car with a broken radiator doesn't exactly put you in the mood to splurge on that cool new vacuum cleaner or a fancy bottle of cologne. In comparison, watching the Huxtables hang out in a brownstone while modeling yet another sick sweater from a seemingly endless pile brings viewers a sense of economic plenty that they might not feel in their day-to-day lives. Now, obviously, Malcolm in the Middle wasn't the first show to peddle an economic angst.
I'll tell you what they're going to pay you. They're going to pay you what all jobs pay. Less than you're worth, and just enough to keep you crawling back for more.
We saw this as far back as the 50s with the Honeymooners, while the mid-70s brought Laverne and Shirley, and the late 80s saw the debut of America's most famous working-class family on Roseanne. But for anyone with enough business savvy, it just didn't seem financially smart to make a family or children's show about bringing your leftover egg breakfast to school for lunch.
What do you have? Leftover eggs from breakfast?
Which brings us to Disney. In a moment, that is. First, we have to look at 1980, when a broad cultural phenomenon began, the Reagan-era loosening of restrictions on entertainment regulations, including advertising during children's television programming. Now, after a major 70s-era crackdown on advertising to kids, you could only show a limited amount of commercials during children's programming, and were also required to produce educational and informative content for kids. When President Reagan and co. had essentially signed or vetoed all that away by 1984, things changed rapidly. A year after regulation, all of the top 10 best-selling toys had their own TV show. While child-centric product placement had occurred during television's early days, that was really no comparison to this new reality. The insane proliferation of TV character-aligned merchandising was dubbed the strawberry shortcake strategy by Tom Engelhardt. That's thanks to the 1980 show's explosions of licensed dolls, video games, stickers, lunchboxes, and so on. And that reliance on branding would continue to increase from the 90s and on as corporations realized what a valuable consumer demographic children could be. And though a 1990 congressional bill had reinstated some restrictions on such advertising, the industry had been changed forever. Increasingly, merchandising centered on children's television characters began blurring the line between consuming entertainment and just plain consumerism. And we're not trying to demonize your favorite Lizzie McGuire lunchbox. It's just a little weird. Which is why families like Malcolm in the Middle aren't the norm for places like the Disney Channel. While they didn't start making original live-action shows until the late 90s, they came in hard, quickly crafting what journalists Julia Borston and Alinda Wheat call a tween machine, in which pre-teenagers, and in this case primarily girls, were targeted through lifestyle marketing like the world had never seen. As scholar Morgan Genevieve Blue notes, the marketing was part and parcel with the programming decisions themselves, explaining that Disney Channel personnel worked closely with Disney Consumer Products and Disney Music Group to extend the network's fictional narratives across a variety of media and merchandise for tween girls. This was in order to effectively creep into the lives and life spaces of kids beyond the TV network. And that's according to a presentation given by President and CCO of Disney branded television, Gary Marsh himself. And the way they did it, mostly through appeals to girl consumers. As Blue explains, characters like Hannah Montana promote representations of aspirational celebrity and teen life via fashion and dress-up and musical performances. And this way, according to Blue, franchisable girl star personae both reflects and perpetuates a neoliberal turn in the United States, which privileges a performative and celebrity-oriented form of girlhood as the contemporary ideal, i.e. a girl who has all the products she needs to look and behave a certain way. In the aughts, this often took the form of sparkly clothes, as best seen in Disney's unprecedentedly large expansion into Walmart stores with clothing and lifestyle lines specifically marketed to middle and working class girls. And by 2014, Disney was racking in $3.99 billion of revenue in consumer products alone, driven largely by Disney Channel merchandise. The franchise elements of the Disney Channel explains why programmers need to make shows about securely middle-class families. Doing so both doesn't alienate working-class viewers, while also painting a fantasy of magical middle-classdom where money is never a problem and consumption is a high priority. That is to say, the family on Wizards of Waverly Place may run a humble sandwich shop, but their apartment sure doesn't look that way. As Blue puts it, Disney's texts, products, and promotions may allay anxieties over vast systematic inequalities, in large part by painting an image of a world where families aren't struggling to make ends meet. This, of course, requires ignoring realities, like the fact that 14.4% of American children were growing up below the poverty line as of 2019.
Actually,
I didn't have to play the rest of that. Madam, it's this simple. You were sold a lifestyle. You were sold men, unserious men on television, goofies on television. You were sold goofies who were okay with women talking to them crazy, snarky, rude kids, huh? All type of weird dynamic in the home. And unfortunately for you, once that television is off, or you put your phone down or close your laptop, there's reality. And the men are not signing up for any of that. Huh? Huh? The men are not signing up for any of that. Unfortunately for you, madam, we not going. Huh? And Jason, there you go. My apologies, Jason. My apologies, right? And once again, Jason said, and y'all can hear that rain. Yep, welcome to South Florida. Make women insufferable to break families and have them spend separately for the foreseeable future. Huh? Elite men got y'all coming and going. And there you go. Elite white men in particular. And as I said, madam, you can always try other women. Other women are doing it.
We should stop marrying men, according to the data. This professor says we're dating all wrong, that women are interviewing men as boyfriends rather than life partners. This leaves us stuck with junior employees of the household rather than co-CEOs. Corinne Lowe used to be married to a man. Now she's married to a woman. After her divorce, she crunched the numbers and decided that it would be more efficient to only date women. She said that it was too time intensive to find a male partner who could be this co-CEO of a household. As a professor at Wharton, she's encouraging women to think like an economist when it comes to picking the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with. We should see dating as a market, marriage as a contract, and children as a public good. Corinne says the rise of the trad wife movement can be explained by the lean-in era. This sent the message that motherhood was just an inconvenience to our careers. Instead, we should see our time as having almost economic value, which we should spend carefully. This is an economist's evidence-based approach to happiness.
Okay. It only took Z a little over an hour. Why was Z triggered? Why did Z cover these two videos? Because they go in line. How do they go in line, Z? How does this make sense? The young lady low-key is pleading to leaders of men. And low-key is somewhat of a complaint to those technocrats. Why I play the other clip is to say you could complain to the economists and to the technocrats and to the social designers and to individual men all you want. The single heterosexual men are the ones who decide whether women need improvement or not. That is why the title is what it is. The absolute undiluted arrogance to think you can skip over what the average single heterosexual man thinks and feels. Yes, his feelings matter too. Oh, no, Z, yes. To think you could skip over that and appeal to anyone else. And the arrogance of saying that the women don't need any more improving. Madam, it's not up to you. It's up to no one else but straight heterosexual men. Single, straight, heterosexual men are who decide whether the women need improvement or not. The arrogance to think you can skip over their opinion, the arrogance to think you can change their appetite, the arrogance to think that you can shame them, the arrogance to think that you automatically are on the right side of history or gender dynamics. It's the feeling and the thought of the straight single men, or well, nothing. Once again, you can always end up with other women like that one woman did. The technocrats can't save you. The men have decided they're not signing up for this weird old partnership talk. This ambiguous, nebulous partnership talk. This 1 foot in, 1 foot out patriarchy, 1 foot in, 1 foot out feminism, a la carte patriarchy, a la carte feminism. The men are not signing up for it. This fake ass egalitarian talk, the men are not signing up for it. They're not. You want to know how you know? Because they haven't. They're not doing it. More than 45% of women are due to be single by 2035. Rightfully so. As a matter of fact, in Z's mind, Uzi, you about to say it, that's not enough. You damn right. Huh? Yeah, the struggle real, and it should be. Madam, you, once again, the outliers are doing too much talking. You, madam, are able to afford your life. We're going to take you at face value. Okay, fine. Assuming that what you're saying is 100% true, you can afford to be single. You can afford your life. The masses of women can't, especially black women. And if what they're asking for, whether they're asking for it verbally or not, is to have a man subsidize them, a black man, you better believe she gonna pay it forward, or she just gonna stay her ass single or with other women. Yeah, and everybody was saying it. Co-CEO sounds crazy. Yeah, I see all of you that have been saying it since I played the clip the first time. Yeah, interesting way of saying egalitarian. We ain't going. We could be co-CEOs. Who told you we want to do this weird power couple thing? We're not signing up for it.
Men and masculinity.
Yeah.
So
this is a new book, right?
This is what I'm writing about in my book, and as the sister of two brothers and the mother of two sons, particularly as the mother of two sons, I think about this a lot. And this goes exactly to truth and lies, because as feminist women, we want to be equal. But if you say to us, yeah, but you know what, male CEOs have full-time caregivers at home. Find me a male CEO who has a family, who has a wife or a partner, who is not the lead caregiver. I defy you to find me that person. So then you say to the same women, so if we want to be CEOs, yes, we're superhuman and all that stuff, but you know what? Actually, you can't really expect us to do 24/7 jobs any differently than the guys do. So if we're going to be there and we're going to be in those top positions, we need a lead caregiver at home, as I have. I mean, my husband obviously has a full-time job, that's great, but he's the lead parent, because I could not be the lead breadwinner if he were not the lead parent. I simply couldn't. Somebody's got to be home. I mean, even at 15 and 7, actually, particularly at 15 and 17, somebody has to be home.
Yeah, right.
As we discovered, we saw the doll's house last night, we came home, our 15-year-olds had been home alone, somebody ought to be home. So,
the place was trash.
A bit. Pizza boxes, we won't go there. So then you say, okay, so you want to be the CEO or the president of the university or the surgeon or the scientist, whatever. You've got to marry somebody who is willing to support you in the homework, the family work, in the way he's going to support you. Believe me, you're not going to be able to do what you want to do without him, but that's probably what you're going to have to do. And maybe you'll trade off, but he's going to have to do that part of the time. And at that point, many women get off the bus. They don't want to marry a guy like that. They don't think a guy like that is masculine. Indeed, the guys who do that, I know I'm in Brooklyn, and Brooklyn is the home of, Brooklyn gives the lie to all this. There are more stay-at-home dads here than probably anywhere else in the U.S., or work-from-home dads, or lead caregiver dads, or however you want to put it. But in most places in the U.S., those dads report that the women they engage with on the on the playground think they're a little odd. Do not think.
Madam, that's why we're not signing up. The masses of women don't mean it. Madam, wait for it. Z, you ain't gonna tell this lady you know her better than she knows herself. You don't even mean it. The divorce rate shows that women don't even mean it. Oops. The reason for divorce shows that women don't even mean it. What's the number one reason for divorce? Z, financial issues. Even when it's said irreconcilable differences, you dig through the numbers, financial issues. Wait a minute. So you say women will stay for infidelity, but leave for financial issues? Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, about that. Huh? I got you, Louis, but Mr. Z on the run, well, on the move right now. I was about to say on the run. No, Mr. Z is not on the run, but Z is definitely on the move right now. And it is raining in South Florida. And of course it's raining in South Florida and Mr. Z is on the move. And Mr. Z got his car washed earlier. Only a couple hours ago. Of course. Of course. Right? I covered this because of the arrogance of the young lady saying, essentially, the women don't need any more improving. They've improved enough. I want to emphasize that. To any woman that cares, that's like 0.5% of y'all. Any woman that cares, you don't get to decide. The technocrats don't get to decide. The married folks don't get to decide. Or the women don't get to decide. Huh? Pundits and talking heads on news don't get to decide. Other content creators don't get to decide. You know who gets to decide? The single men. Single heterosexual men get to decide. Huh? The arrogance of you is trying to appeal to anyone other than the single heterosexual men. The arrogance of you by low-key, subtly shaming the men and their appetite. The arrogance. It's not up to you, madam. It's up to the men. The men said they want pepperoni pizza, and they're going to get pepperoni pizza. And if the men don't get pepperoni pizza, be prepared to watch your sister and starve. See, that don't make no sense. It make perfect sense. The vast majority of women can't afford their life. They're subsidized by their men around them. Huh? You can't appeal to anyone else but the single men, madam. Single straight men, not your gay homeboys or friends. Huh? Not the technocrats, not the talking heads, not the pundits, not your homegirls, not the teachers or educators, the influencers. Huh? Madam, I also played the clip where the woman says, maybe we shouldn't be marrying men. You damn right. If you're not going to be a wife, you damn right. What that marriage rate say right now? Oops. Huh? What does that marriage rate say right now? Shout out to all the women who think there's another way around it. There's not. Huh? There is no workaround, madam. There is no workaround. The arrogance, the absolute arrogance to say the women no longer need improving. And she's not the first woman, particularly white woman, I heard say that. The absolute arrogance of you. She's not the first white woman I heard say that. We've been proven up. We seek therapy. We do what we're supposed to do. What do the men have to say? Oops. Who are you talking to when you say that? The technocrats? The elders? Who are you talking to? The men get to decide. Once again, straight single men. Anyone other than straight single men. If you're talking to anyone other than straight single men, then you're either delusional or you're right. You're not fit to be a wife. You're not even fit to be a partner because you're asking the wrong person Ooh, goddamn! You're asking the wrong person. Excuse me. You're asking the wrong person about what this takes. That's not the person you should be speaking to. Other women, married folks, they'll tell you maybe what it takes to sustain this. Who are you talking to? From now on, it just need to be known and said, if you're not talking to straight single men about straight single men, then you're wasting your time and your breath, because no one else gets to decide how this is gonna go, how this is gonna move, and who's gonna be with who. God damn, this is what I get. This is what I get. Jesus, you know what we not gonna do? We not gonna do this to Z. Nope. Ha. There is another way. There is another way. Z. Not today. Z, what you talking about? No, yeah, I don't see the road in front of Z. Nope. There is another way. That's gonna be long and arduous. And here we go. Y'all button up, because we gonna be here for a while. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat, and the hype button. Yep, I'm not doing that to myself. Nope, nope, nope. Until whether it on have to say, I that it's showing that it's in the shredder. What the new one look like? See, you still there? See, you still here? Even if you wanted to entertain yourselves, everyone, ask the ladies, what the new social contract look like? See, we can only hear the rain in your background. I know. Huh? What that new social contract look like, everyone? And that's if the men were going, and we're not. Huh? The men don't trust the women. The women thought they could cheat the system. They thought they could muscle the men into being these little paymaster, little weird, weak, soft, simping ass men. And how has that been working for y'all for the past, I don't know how many decades? Huh? Oh, damn, I was breaking up. Can y'all hear me now? Huh? Hopefully you guys can hear me now. Hopefully. This is what happened when Z's on the move on Worlds, you know. I know, y'all. We will be getting into a better space in a minute. In a minute. Jesus, if you would just drive, that would be great. If you would just drive. And, oh boy. All right. Yes, everyone. Welcome to South Florida, Everglade Wireless. So all of you that say Everglade Wireless, it definitely is Everglades Wireless right now. It definitely is. It is Hurricane Andrew Wireless right now, actually. Right? Oh boy. All right. Y'all said I was borging earlier. What I was emphasizing earlier was what I said even earlier. The arrogance of attempting to skip over what the men think. Straight single men. Z, you done said that a couple dozen times at this point. I know. Also, what I was saying is, even if we wanted to entertain ourselves with saying to women in America, that fine, you know what, that old social contract, it's in the shredder. What the new social contract look like? Z, you still there? Z still here. Z, all we can hear is your background. All we can hear is the rain. I know. The women don't have an answer. They were never going to have an answer. Even if you wanted to entertain them, even if you wanted to, you know what? Fine. The old social contract is in the shredder. What are men to do now? We give you, all right, we give you control of all of this. Oh, wait, paymasters that don't exercise any power. Oh, yeah, that's what we thought. Huh? Oh, yeah, a paymaster that exercises none of the power. That's what we thought. Overglorified guard dogs that double as simps. Oh, yeah, that's what we thought. Huh? Patriarchy by feminist specifications, we're going to call that egalitarianism. Oh, yeah, that's what we thought. And that's what it really is. If you take nothing else from this stream, appreciate patriarchy by feminist specifications, and we just gonna label that egalitarian. The arrogance of saying to straight single men that women don't need any more improving. And I saw what you said earlier, Raj, why you have chubby cheeks, and we could tell that chubby cheeks mean that that stomach's chubby also. To say the women need no more improving, as Mr. Z said, it's not up to you, it's up to no one else other than, once again, single straight women. That's who decides. Huh? Single straight women decide whether women need improvement. I said single straight women, sorry. Single straight men decide whether women need improving or not. Your career doesn't decide that, madam. Your home doesn't decide that. Your car doesn't decide that. The dogs don't decide that. The cats don't decide that. The pets, they don't decide that. Huh? The technocrats don't decide that, particularly not the married ones. Huh? Yikes. Passport OG, you just gave me an idea. Yes, you better believe it. Coming to a stream near you. Huh? Coming to a stream near you. Talk about driving reckless. And Passport OG says, the rain actually is a pretty good backdrop. Coming to a stream near you. We gonna see what we can do. Oh, look at Mr. Z Robin. Huh? And rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. We built it as we fly. There you go. Right? Vegas says he agrees. You know, I saw this. I had to, and I might even do a standalone. I haven't done a standalone in forever. I haven't done a standalone video in forever. I might do a standalone and direct it right to her. But she has her own page on Instagram and emphasize that. Madam, you're not changing the appetite of the men. Another thing, and I can't believe I didn't say this earlier, what also makes what you say extremely arrogant is there's an assumption with your statement that the women are on the right side of history. That the women are on the right side of history. That the women are morally superior. That the way the women are conducting themselves and comporting themselves, excuse me, and the way women see the gender dynamics, or at least women like you, is the correct way. It's the non-toxic way. Huh? There's an assumption by how you said what you said that the women are on the right side of history. And that is extremely arrogant. The men decide. And through action, the masses of men are saying, yeah, about that. See, and I'm going to hit all the negative stereotypes. I'd rather be at home with the Jergens lotion. I'd rather be at home with the PlayStation or Xbox. Huh? I'd rather be on my mom's couch. I'd rather be in the basement. Huh? Fine, let's say these men are all the negative stereotypes. And the problem is, Mr. Z, have no problem. You know what, ladies? You're right. It's all the negative stereotypes, all of them. So, huh? Louis said he made some sinister thumbnails. He said, oh, y'all ain't seen nothing yet. Huh? And shout out to Louis Conyer. If y'all appreciate, and I know sometimes it aggravates some of you, why does Mr. Z lead into the negative stereotypes? To emphasize to this entire society, not just the women, the technocrats, the social designers, that there was a reason why the men were men. The act of behaving like a man, there was a reason for that. You took away the reason for that, dear society. And there are men who are still going to adhere to that in everything but wifing your daughters, in everything but literally marrying your daughters, in everything but subsidizing your daughters, in everything but relegating your daughters to nothing but a toy. Huh? There are men that are still going to adhere to manhood and behaving like men in everything but concerning your daughters. You don't take off all the incentives. You don't take out all the incentives and say, well, do it because it's the right thing to do. Yeah. Because you're a good person. Yeah. For duty and country, right? For God and country. Nope. The men are supposed to subsidize your neoliberal, mean, rude, condescending, belong to Morgan Freeman, to Milton Freeman ass daughters. The men are supposed to subsidize them? For what? For what? It's a performance. We said it's a performance, beginning, end. Madam, you were talking to the technocrats. Let Z talk to the technocrats. We said it's a performance. You will not change the appetite of the men. You will watch the masses of your daughters struggle and starve. Barter themselves to the highest bidder. And maybe the lowest one, too. The outliers will continue to do way too much talking, but there will get a point where you can't hide. You won't be able to hide the poverty of the masses, the struggle of the masses, the degradation of the masses, behind the outliers. So this lady can be an outlier and say the women don't need any much more improving. And other women in the comments can agree with her. But the men will be the judge of that. Single, straight men. And no one else. Single, straight men will be the decider of that. They'll be the judge of that. And it can be no one else. It can be no one else, and it will be no one else. We've reached a tipping point. It's an inflection point. This entire society thought they could starve the men out. Starve the men out, and that way they'll pay insanely bigly, as your president would say, for mediocre vagina attached to sloppy overweight bodies and crap attitudes and demeanors. But if we starve them out enough, and if we mass produce this particular archetype, the men won't have a choice and they'll pay exorbitantly for it. And we're here now. And well, we're here now. And how exactly is that working? Oh, wait, it's not. Huh? Oh, wait, it's not. The outmaneuvering men from their wallets, using the women, the materialistic consumerist women. Yeah. Huh? And Mark Bryan says, that's a bad deal, a horrible one. And St. Cyr says, they really underestimated how resourceful and resilient the average man is. I think they thought the average man's libido and sex drive was so great that he would continue to run into the burning building. That he would continue to put himself in the shredder. And I think they overestimated the will of their daughters also. Underestimated the men. Way overestimated the women. What they don't appreciate is even when y'all was subsidizing them at the highest level, they were still barely holding on. Let alone now. Huh? Let alone now. Your outliers are going to be your outliers. The women that are doing well financially are going to be doing well financially. That loneliness is going to be kicking them all in the ass, though. Huh? That horniness, that loneliness is going to be kicking them all in the ass. But your outliers are going to be okay financially. In every other way, well, they seriously underestimated the men and overestimated the women and the women's resolve. Huh? You know the women like sex too, right? The men are calling their bluff right now and they're shattering. The women like sex too. The women want companions also. But that's not what the polls say, Z. Oh, there's a pun in there. When we poll the women, that's not what they say. We're going to make them mean it, and then we'll see what they say. Huh? The women said they would rather be single. We're going to make them mean it, and then we'll see what they say. Huh? Sounds nice. Huh? Vegas says, who's actually lonely here? You know, you don't really see that many car confessional videos from men. You see a whole lot from women, though. You remember in the early aughts, you would hear men, even in the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, you would hear about men saying, oh, it's a sausage fest in there. Going to clubs or bars, and there was way too many men. The men to women ratio was all type of skewed. Yeah, what about now, though? Ooh. What about now? Huh? How do those bars and restaurants and clubs look like now?
Having dinner with my girl, and I want y'all to just notice something. There's women, all eating there. Women, all eating there. And let's not forget right there too, because they're everywhere. Oh my god. I don't normally go out, but when I do, I go out with my girls, and I am seeing something, a trend. Girls are all going out with their girlfriends. There's not like one date.
Yeah. Keep calling the men's bluff. We're going to make you mean it. Huh? We're going to make you mean it. Huh? Yikes. Promise me you're going to make your daughters mean it. They don't need no man. We're going to make you mean that. You will be paying for peeing, ma'am. And you get old enough, you're going to be paying for companionship also. Whether it's that teacup dog, whether it's that house cat, or whether it's a man, younger, older, same age, we're going to make you mean that. That's not a threat. That's a promise. The arrogance of this society to think you are going to atomize everyone, particularly those of us that are not in the top 20%, and your society was going to continue without the social strife, we'll see about that. Huh? To think you were going to weaponize your daughters against the masses of working class men, and your daughters were going to feel that, we'll see about that. Huh? You thought you had a friend. You thought you had an ally. We'll see about that. The arrogance of the women and the technocrats. Oh, don't worry. We got a bunch of office jobs and white collar and we don't really need these men like that. We'll just cut them off. Huh? Send the women to college and cut off the men, and whichever one of them floats, floats. Whichever one, if he dies, he dies. Okay, fine. And we're here now. We'll see about that. Huh? Tro says she'll buy a couple of PS7s. You see what I'm saying? We're going to make all of you mean that. The problem is, many of you boomers ain't going to be around to really see what your daughter turns into. You'll be seeing it in the afterlife, though. You're not going to be around in this life. You'll see it in the afterlife. Huh? When 27-year-old Marquavius is walking out your daughter's house And now your daughter, 48, 52, and 27-year-old Marquavius is walking out with his PlayStation 7 or 8 in his hand? Huh? Oh, by the way, Marquavius is walking out of all the houses. The white women, the black women, the Latinas, the Asians. Who's a better Splacavelli? Huh? Huh? Rest in peace, Nate Dogg. Nate Dogg said nobody could do it better. That's what he said. Huh? So Marquavius will be walking out of your daughter's home. All the daughters that decided to sign up for this hyper-consumerist, materialistic crap, the atomization of society, the I don't need no man, huh? We're not going back to the 1950s. I don't know how many black men are signing up for that, but it's either what the look, either the men are right or the women are wrong. Huh? Damn, Z, you ain't give no ultimatum. My point. Either the men are right or the women are wrong. The women signed up for, you imagine you let Milton Freeman and them boys decide how your relationships were going to be designed. Huh? The Chicago boys decided how your relationships were going to be designed. Gary Marsh from Disney decided how your relationships were going to be designed. Old white men. And you wonder why your marriages ain't going nowhere. What marriages? Oh, yeah, you're right. Huh? They did to relationship and marriage what they do to everything. The elites got it, and everybody else, well, struggle and starve. But the number one victims of that, well, are women, because y'all wanted to be the number one victims of that. You signed up. Huh? To think y'all let the Chicago boys and Milton Freeman and them and Gary Marsh and them and whatever head of Nickelodeon and y'all let the authors of romance novels, the Sex and the City people decide what your relationships were going to be. Huh? MD Brooks says, hey, that's my name. Hey, MD, you going to be walking out of all their houses. Keep the strap. Huh? Yeah, ladies. You're bad. To think you could work around the men. The absolute arrogance. And we're going to play it one more game. We're going to get out of here in a minute. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And the hype button. Mrs. Z almost forgot it. Shout out to the replay gang. Got to shout y'all out. Sorry about that, Jason. You will be okay, Jason. I think, right? I think you're going to be okay after the stream, right? So let's play this one more again.
Us high-achieving women have become the men that we want in relationships. We did everything right. We did the school, finished the school, got the good job, got the good house, got the good car and life and dog and friends and everything. And I never thought that achieving these things for myself would literally make it impossible to date. I thought that if women were able to accomplish these things for themselves and push themselves and be driven, there's nothing stopping men from being in that same position. And lo and behold, here we are. What happened? Like, where, what, why? Women are looking for a partnership now, right? Like, we're not dating because we need to. But the problem is, men are not sharing in that vision. They still are subscribing to a hierarchical model. They still need to be needed in some capacity. So there's two outcomes. Either I prove that I'm high achieving and don't require support, which makes me unlikable. But then if I did actually need someone for a financial incentive or whatever else, this provider role, then I'm a gold digger. So what do? Moral of the story, it's difficult to be in a position where there's no more improvement needed on our side. I don't think women should have to demote themselves in order to be palatable to men who need to be needed. I think the solution is men should be more driven to want to be wanted. But then when they try to do things that women want, other men are shaming them back into this toxic cycle of hierarchy. So I guess this is my plea for men to stop falling victim to a system that doesn't serve you or anyone anymore, or don't. That's
You will put other people in this organization at risk, and that organization does not want to take that risk. So you do not have this job anymore if you decline it. With any public health decision, there has to be a consequence to you not participating in that social contract.
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa. That's too damn bad.
Fair.
That is not fair. That is not fair.
Yeah, we know. It's perfectly fair, but we know what your sentiment is. We know your feelings. We get it. Huh? Shout out to Vince wherever you are. Vince says, you gets Nathan. Huh? Not nothing. Vince says, you get Nathan. And Lion says, that's purposely obtuse. Yeah, she being obtuse like men are telling other men, hey, you a simp. You a simp. No, the men think of themselves as simp by adhering to that crap y'all talking about. We don't gotta call them simps. Nobody's signing up for that partnership crap because we know y'all don't mean it. We know y'all don't mean it. Partnership. The men are afraid of what other men are gonna say. No, the men are afraid of what women are going to do. Uh-oh. Have you ever considered that? You know, it is human to have the most gracious interpretation of yourself and your feelings and your thoughts. It is human. But if you're not considering more critically, talking about critical theory, if you're not considering more critically why people do the things they do, outside of a self-serving ass answer, by the way, if you don't consider critically why people do the things they do, particularly the quote-unquote opposition in this case, the other side in this case, then you always end up with one of these self-serving ass answers. One of these answers that fit perfectly into your worldview already. Huh? That's what ends up happening. That's how we got here. That's why you think your arrogance is perfectly okay. That you don't have to consider what the men consider. Because the men are on the wrong side of history anyway, and the women have, quote unquote, evolved so much that they don't need much more improving. The women don't need much more improving. Of course you would say that. Self-serving ass answer. Self-serving ass solution. But it was never up to you. Not if you're a straight woman. Now, if you're not a straight woman, you can always engage in same-sex loving relationships or situationships. Huh? So on that note, y'all, look, I'm about to stress this out as much as humanly possible. I wanted to emphasize that we owe them nothing. I agree with LXST, and yes, I got your emails, by the way. I got your emails. Huh? Hold the line. Hold the line. If the women said they don't need men, make them mean that. If the women said they don't need men, we're going to make you mean that. Dear ladies, we're going to make you mean that. You sure about that? We're going to make you mean that. Huh? Yikes, Saint seriously, car stuff, hysterical. Right? Ooh, and Compassionate says, women are basically upset we didn't take to the brainwashing as well as they did. Ooh. Ooh. Huh? I get it. They bought in, and I'm gonna have to go back and BGS streams. I don't even know if he know where to find that. BGS covered something months ago, maybe 8, 9 months ago, maybe even 10 months ago, and it was a lighter skinned young lady. I've seen her before. If I could find her name, I could maybe find that conversation she was having. Lighter skinned young lady. She didn't have a bob, but kind of similar-ish haircut. I might even be describing it wrong by calling it a bob. Fine. Kind of thicker, and she was saying that what she thought was her quote-unquote achievements would allow for her, and I'm going to use this phrase. I don't remember if it was this exact phrase, but it was the same sentiment. Her achievements would allow for her to get like top shelf mint. Like think of alcohol, top shelf alcohol, mint on the top shelf. And what she realized was men don't care nothing about that. And speaking to what Compassionate just said, the women bought into the brainwashing. So in their mind, their accomplishments and their money or wealth or income and the society continuing to tell her through music, through movies, through print media, that she was on the right side of history and the wind was to her back. She bought in because that's such good ear candy. When you think you're on the right side of history and all you're going to do is be living your life in some whatever your ideal man is going to fall out the sky and chase you down and beg you to be with him. When you're sold that, and you're sold that from an infant, of course you're running into women in their late 20s, in their 30s, and in their 40s who are so rageful and angry. Ladies, we appreciate it. We were sitting right next to you. We just didn't take. Ooh. You did. And I can appreciate, Zeke can appreciate why you took because it sounds good. I can appreciate why you took to it. It sounds good. The men on the wrong side of history, the women on the right side of history. Huh? All the television shows and movies, and I was watching what was the movie the movie, and then they turned it into a series on Netflix with the mixed sister. I want to say Grown is So Bad. It's not Grown. When a mixed girl goes to college and then she ends up going to HBCU, she has a white dad and a black mom, and then on the last season they emphasize LGBTQ stuff way too much. Somebody go say it in the comments. Whitish? It was a Whitish. Oh man, what was the name of that damn movie? And then they turned it into a series on that. Somebody go say it in the comments. Dear white people, thank you, Trell. You already know what I'm. Thank you. I don't know why I want to say everything but dear white people. Dear white people, and it was one episode. Was it the second season? I want to say it was the second season when the darker skinned sister started falling for one of the brothers, and he ended up, I think, being Afrocentric and whatever. And when she was telling him off, she said something like along the lines of, and it was one of these intersectional lines where like You think you're more oppressed than me, and et cetera, et cetera. And I'm bringing that up to say that's been women's story for the past like 4 decades, easily 4 decades. Is they're always on the right side of an argument with a man. They're always on the right side of history. They always get men told. They're always going to win the argument, the debate, the sports match. They're always going to win. So, of course, you're meeting 28-year-olds, 35-year-olds, 42-year-olds who are livid. They're angry at the world. I'm saying the women, because their life is not panning out like that. Huh? Their life isn't panning out like you could just wholly dismiss what men and boys think, and there'll be some simp ass man that says, "You're right, you're on the right side. All of them are wrong. I'm the only right one for you. And I will bow and kiss your feet, madam. And yes, I earn more than you by 3, 4, 5 times amount. And yes, I'm gonna put you in your dream home, and you're gonna drive your dream car. We're gonna have the dream children and the dream situation. But I will defer to you. And when we argue, if we argue, you will be right. And I will come around to your way of thinking." They've been sold that for at least more than 4 decades. It's more than 4 decades. Huh? Their ideal archetype man, ideal archetype career and lifestyle, but that still defers to them. Huh? Of course. And they were sold this through all manner of media. Did Zoe's husband do that? Just take your last name. Zoe Saldana's husband did that. Breaking the mold. Huh? And we're here. And give me a second, y'all. Gave me this. Let me see something. Y'all give Z a minute. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. No, that's not the one, Passport G. That's not the one. That's not the one. But that's Dr. Chris Marsh. And shout out to Dr. Dunbar. That's Dr. Chris Marsh. I've been talking about Dr. Chris Marsh for over a year now. No, that's not the one. That's not the one. Right. I gotta find it. I gotta find it because it was a while ago. It was like maybe like 8, 9 months ago, something like that. And BGS, I don't even remember if that was if his whole stream was covering that. But he played a clip of a system that would, I don't remember if it was a panel discussion, but I remember glancing, seeing her. I've seen her before. I don't know where, but I've seen her before. And she was saying, like, essentially you think you get a elevated man when you accomplish such and such, or you get to such and such level, but that's just not the case. Right? Yeah. Dr. Dunbar laughing, look. Yeah, no, it's not Yeah, it's not Dr. Chris Marsh. It's not Dr. Chris Marsh, right? Dr. Chris Marsh has her own way of advocating for singledom, which is creative to say the least, right? Better you look better, look better you. You need to go get her mind right. Go get her mind right. And better you says, what's going on with Dr. Tynes? She been quiet for a minute. I wonder if she ever got word of me in my coverage. Yo, I spoke on that for what, damn near 4 hours. That was like a 4-hour stream of me no, my stream was longer than that. Was a 9-hour stream. I think my monologuing was like 3-4 hours alone. Was it? I can't remember, but yeah. I see what y'all doing. But we gotta go spend time with Miss Z. Right. So we're gonna pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. As a matter of, before we do our outro the right way. Like, share, subscribe, hit the hype button, please and thank you. Shout out to the replay gang. I know this was a lot. Mr. Z kept on saying the same thing over and over again, which I do on just about every stream, but really this stream. This also emphasizes this is not just a black woman thing. This idea that the women are on the right side of history and their reading of history is correct. Their reading of men and women relationships or lack thereof, both past and present, is the correct reading. And as she said, the women don't need any more improving. They've improved enough. As my title says, the absolute undiluted arrogance. Right? Right? So yeah, y'all. I might spin the block on this clip again. And I'm definitely gonna play it a few more times over the next month or so. I think it says a lot about the sentiments of women, once again, in their reading of man-woman dynamic, and where they think they are and where they think men are. Right? I shouted you out earlier too, Vince, and Vincent's vaginal arrogance. Right? So we'll pause right here, truly, y'all. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, for the love of God. I see what you said there, Dr. Dunbar, right? And y'all have a great rest of y'all night. Mr. Z out. Oh, before we end out, shout out to Louis. I'm gonna check out those thumbnails in 1 minute, Louis. All right, y'all. So y'all get prepared, because that thumbnail might change. I like that thumbnail, but that thumbnail might change. All right, y'all. Mr. Z out.